Hello, all. So, got a new story. Whew, let's see what's going on here. Inside Christiania, Europe's largest hippie commune, where an open drug market is being ravaged by rising gang violence. I didn't know they had hippies in Europe, but the gang violence makes sense. Oh, wait, did I miss something? Okay, that's the first one. Inside Christiania, Europe's blah, blah, blah. In 1971, a group of squatters took over a military base in Copenhagen and called their enclave Christiania. Their plan was to break away from Denmark and its laws to stop living under a conventional property ownership model and to legalize drugs. That doesn't sound like a good idea at all. In recent years, organized crime has taken over its drug trade, resulting in escalating violence. Obviously, you got rid of the laws. For more than 50 years, Copenhagen has been home to Europe's largest hippie commune. Freetown, Christiania, was formed in 1971 when about 150 squatters, blah, 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 leap the fence and take over. How do 150 people just take over an entire base? Who's there? Take over a section of leafy military land. Okay, so it was just land that had been abandoned in 1960s. They formed a commune, made their own laws, and legalized drugs. I don't know what their laws were, but in the decades since, countless governments have threatened and tried to end the commune, but Christiania is still going today. Yeah, because how are they going to end it if they're not going to actually take action? Its members even formed a foundation and bought the land with a bank loan in 2011. Who the hell's selling them the land? But over the last few years, its semi-legal drug trade on Pusher Street has been, they called it Pusher Street, has been taken over by gangs and serious drug dealers, resulting in escalating violence. Yeah, the government should have just done that. They should have just just gone in and break the laws of the commune, make it unlivable for the people. In May, Copenhagen's mayor offered to step in and close the drug market for good. How the hell is he going to do that? Here's how the commune has lasted so long. Some of the challenges it's faced. Okay. God, that's a very long article for the first page. In September 1971, a group of 100 artists now, hippies, feminists, and squatters. It sounds like something we would do in America, but yeah, took over a derelict military base. Yeah, we got a lot of artists, hippies, and feminists. All right. There was no single leader. That sounds stupid. They were just a group that wanted to live differently. Doesn't sound like a good plan at all. That's how they choose to live differently? Just trash all over the ground. And they were angry with the government, emboldened by student uprisings in Paris and in Denmark, acting out in response to housing crisis. Oh, so they have nowhere to live. Okay, so bad economy drove them to this nonsense. They cut off access to roads, banned cars, and liberated a leafy enclave that covered about 35 acres of prime Copenhagen real estate. They called their commune Christiania. Well, they had a real estate problem, so they found real estate. Good on them. Their plan was to live inside Denmark, but outside its laws. They wrote their own constitution, printed their own money, ended conventional property ownership, and legalized drugs. It sounds like an idea that was just pretty much they wanted to live in opposition to what they hated, which is pretty much what people kind of do in this country. They're like, oh, down with the patriarchy, so we're just going to do the opposite of what we don't like about these people. Down with this, we're just going to do the opposite. So it's just an idea built on opposite, which just makes no sense. If the thing that you're against has flaws, the opposite is not the correct thing to do. Like that doesn't make any sense. Okay, probably and legalize drugs. Of course, they're going to have to legalize drugs because the hippies probably wanted that. The feminists wanted I don't know what the feminists wanted. They probably just wanted to dress however they want and do whatever they want to do. And the artists, I don't know how the artists are going to make money when they're surrounded by a bunch of poor people. I guess if people are high enough, they'll probably buy some art. What is this? Oh, I guess that's what the artist did. Graffiti. The commune's guiding principle was simple. Everything was allowed until it started to bother someone. That sounds stupid. One of its mottos was black sheep from all classes unite. That's real stupid. What's this? Okay. Early on, the police tried to clear the squatters out, but too many people were living in Christiania and no one wanted to leave. Of course, who wants to go back to laws after having no laws? To keep the peace, the Danish government let them stay. Yeah, otherwise they'd have to shoot them. What do you get horses? Look at that. They living in squalor. God damn. In 1973, the government agreed to let the squatters have the 3 years as long as they paid for electricity and water. The commune was labeled a social experiment, but within a year, the government tried to close it down again. Of course. Look at the children living. Like, is she pregnant? The government and the commune continued to wrestle for decades, but by 2010, it had received a dozen eviction notices. But according to the Believer, legal delays and deadlocks often saved the commune. Even without a guaranteed future, it had soon developed into self-regulating society. Okay, so there was a political debate and a bunch of people going back and forth. That's the only reason they were able to survive for so long, is because people couldn't agree on what to do with them. The number of residents grew to around 1,000. An office was set up to sort out tenancies and maintain buildings. Sewer lines were laid and rundown buildings were renovated. Okay, so they finally decided to clean up the squalor. All right. Protocols that were made early on continue today. For instance, residents pay a standard monthly fee, taxes, no matter how big their home was, and all decisions. Okay, so they pay the same amount regardless of the size of their property. All right. And all decisions from garbage disposal to tenant applications are made at monthly meetings where the majority vote is required. That's got to be annoying. Like, I got to show up to vote for menial shit all the time. One of the crucial rules in Christiania is that no one owns property. That's annoying. What are you paying for? You're paying rent? It follows a collective property management system where people can't trade or sell where they live. When someone wants to move, they simply leave. What if you wanted to evict someone? Yes, of course, the drugs. Over the years, more rules were enacted too, like no violence. So I guess in the violence started to annoy somebody. No gangs, no guns. How do you enforce that? If the gangs are using violence and they have guns, what are you going to do to them? Soft drugs like marijuana and hashish were allowed, but in 1970, hard drugs were banned. Yeah, I can imagine. In 1985, after the police repeatedly clashed with local gangs, they said no gangs, but members of Christiania convinced the gang members to remove their patches and put down their weapons. They probably family members. That's probably how they convinced them. No photography. The commune soon had a reputation for its drug market, which it is called Pusher Street. The market reportedly only has 2 rules: no photographs and no hard drugs. I don't know how you enforce that. Again, But Christiania wasn't all parties and drugs. Families moved there. Lula Forchhammer, a resident and mother, told the New York Times in 1996, it's a paradise for children. Are you sure about that? She said there's a lake, there are trees and gardens. What's the education system? And all the grown-ups look out for all the kids. You can let them run free and not worry about them. Hardly any laws. Are you going to stop the pedophiles, the drug addicts? And what's the education system like? Peter Vestergaard, another resident, told The Guardian in 2004, if you want something done here, you can't call an electrician or a plumber. You do it yourself or find a friend to help. I came to Christiania because I wanted to become responsible for my own life. Yeah, it is a commune. That's what you do there. In 1989, the Danish government passed the Christiania law. This gave residents a legal right to live in Christiania. Why? Why are they doing this? But even so, new governments continue to threaten the commune, and the commune continued to hold its ground. Of course, they can't have like sovereign nations inside of their own nation. That makes no sense. The world is in our hands. All right. Things came to a head in 2011 when the government made the commune an ultimatum. Either buy the land or someone else would. The commune managed to raise funds and get a bank mortgage, and it has since been run by a foundation. All right. I hope they make money to pay off this loan. They do kind of look peaceful. It became one of Denmark's most popular tourist destinations, with hundreds of thousands of people visiting each year. I guess so. I guess they have to make money somehow, so they might as well be a tourist destination. Other than social services, hospitals, and schools, it's pretty much self-sufficient. Yeah, they're going to need schools, they're going to need hospitals, they need social services, and they got children there. There are shops, kindergartens, restaurants, and cafes. This a local grocery store inside the commune from 2012. Grocery store. Yeah. You got that. All right. What is this now? Damn, their streets are dirty. But it's not perfect. The requirement to reach a consensus for every issue has caused headaches. Exactly what I said. Require everyone to freaking continuously vote on shit all the time. It's got to be annoying. Decisions are often slow to reach, and if reached at all. Yeah. The way it enforces its rules has also been criticized. Because Copenhagen's police are not welcome, residents have taken things into their own hands. Yeah, yeah. People don't get trials there. You get accused of something, people come for your head. Locals have physically enforced the commune's rules, making violent threats in some cases and forcibly remove unwanted residents. Talked about how they're going to evict people. So that's what they do. All right. But the most overt issue is its drug culture. Christiania is a desirable location because it's the only place in the country where drug sales are tolerated, if not legal. Over the years, its drug market morphed into a serious business for dealers and gangs. Despite the commune requiring cannabis sellers to be residents, gangs use locals as front to sell their merchandise. Of course, money talks. In the 2000s, serious drug dealers and organized crime, including the Danish Hells Angels, moved in. Hells Angels? I didn't know they had a Danish Hells Angels. Damn. They're freaking global. In response, the police, who previously turned a blind eye to the drug trade, began to raid Pusher Street. By 2016, the police estimated the drug trade made $150 million in sales each year. Damn, that's what they paid off that loan. From 2020 to 2021, police seized more than 1 ton of cannabis from the commune. With the increase in drug trade, crime on Pusher Street appeared to get worse. Yeah, people are doing drugs and they're not making any money because they're high all the time. So how are they going to buy more drugs? crime. In 2022, a man was shot dead, and earlier this year, there was a number of stabbings. Guns are not as affordable, so got to get all shanky. Hulda Matter, the commune spokesperson, said the people involved weren't strangers and that they suspected gangs. She said, "We are afraid that the situation will develop into a gang war in Christiania." Yeah, there's a lot of money on the table. People can't just leave, so it's going to be a gang war. In response, Copenhagen's mayor, Sophie Hestorp Anderson, told a local newspaper in May that crime had reached a level we neither can nor want to deal with. What? What do you mean neither can or want to deal with? It's your people. Who the hell voted for this woman to be mayor? She said Christiania wasn't going anywhere, but organized crime needed to be removed. But you don't want to deal with it, so she said that it was up to the commune's residents to make a decision. Wow. She called on them to make it clear they wanted Pusher Street gone. Once they did, the authorities would work to make sure that it happened. Bruh, who the hell put you in office? What kind of leader just like, I don't want to deal with it. You tell us, when you've had enough, and then I'll just call some other people to do something. I ain't gonna make policies. That's just like being a mayor. Ridiculous. Anyways, until next time.